Hi everyone, my name is Joe Leat and I'm an actor and I'm a voice coach, and we're going to be working together today on our voices. So, what was the voice originally used for? Now I'm talking like prehistoric times where we were having to deal with saber-toothed tigers and finding food. Our voice developed as a way for us to let others know whether we are safe or perhaps we're in danger. And it might be that we are letting others know whether we are safe or whether we are dangerous. It also helped us build relationships because as humankind evolved, we realized that actually working together, going around in bigger groups, actually helped us survive. And the modern world has changed a lot from when we were cavemen. We still need to build relationships, but we don't face the same kind of dangers. We're at the top of the food chain now. However, the things that cause us stress, that make us feel like we're not safe, they now come in different forms. Now, one of the culprits is our inner critic. And our inner critic is very good at talking to us and letting us know what it thinks. It also has a very good memory for things that have happened and reminds us that the last time you said that, no one laughed. Or maybe you shouldn't do that again. Then look at them, they're not listening to you. They don't like you. If you say that, they'll think you know everything. Who wants to be around someone like that? They're smiling. They're laughing at you. You should keep quiet and not draw attention because you've got nothing good to say. Now, the inner critic can talk us into not using our voice to express ourselves and build relationships with others. So today we're going to work on ways to take back control of our voice so we can express ourselves during important moments in our life, like finding a college or a university, going to a job interview, or any situation where you want or need your voice to be heard. So the first thing I'd like you to do is, from the room you are in, or perhaps inside your bag, I'd like you to find a random object, and I'd like you to pick that object because it in some way represents your voice. For example, I might choose this book. I might choose this book because there's lots of different pages in this book and there are lots of different parts of my voice, which some bits of my voice I like more than others. I like going over certain things a bit more. It might be that you feel like your voice is a bit like light blue colored when it comes out. It sounds like it's blue. Anything you like. So you're finding an object from the room or inside your bag that in some way represents your voice. Off you go. Now that you've got your object, what I'd like you to do is, one by one, tell everyone what your object is, if it's not obvious, and tell us why this particular object represents your voice. Now, as time has gone on and science has advanced, we have learned a lot more about the connection between our body and our brain. Thoughts happen in the brain, and feelings are often felt in the body. Now, the voice is one of the best indicators of how someone is feeling and what they're thinking. When someone answers the phone, how quickly can you work out how that person is? I'd say normally by the end of their hello or hi. Some people like their voice, some people don't, but it doesn't matter whether you like or dislike your voice. If someone criticizes your voice, it feels surprisingly personal because the voice comes from within us. It's part of us. We can't touch our voice. We can't. And it is one of the only ways that we can bring what's going on inside out. Hiya. Hiya. So let's find out a little bit more about your relationship to your voice. For this next task, you'll need a pen and paper. And you're going to do some free writing. Now, from the moment you start by putting pen to paper, you can't stop writing. That pen has to just keep going, not even to think about what to write next. You just have to keep going. It's going to be a stream of thoughts. Now, I'd like you to write the story of you and your voice. From when you start, you'll have 5 minutes, and I'd like a minimum of 10 sentences. Enjoy writing. So what we're going to work on now is we're going to work on a vocal warm-up. And the purpose of a vocal warm-up is to prepare our voice for speaking. And when we are speaking, we want our voice to work efficiently and safely. We don't want it to get tired out, because that can get us into problems. And the thing that can get in the way of us working effectively and safely up here is our levels of tension. And our inner critic, it can cause us to think certain things, and thinking creates movement, and that movement can be where tension can start to accumulate. It can increase, and what we want to do is give ourselves the tools to be able to get rid of it. Okay, and this sort of stuff, our vocal warm-up, can be used by anyone at any time, really. It's not just in those moments where we are preparing for something, whether that's an interview or an important meeting. It can be used by anyone, just at the start of the day, just to get yourself in the right place, frame of mind. Okay, because what you'll find is when you lose some tension, our minds become a little bit clearer as well. So we're going to start off with just a quick exercise on just to highlight tension. So what I want you to do really quick is just to clench your toes, just your toes, and just clench them as if you're gripping the floor, and a little bit harder, even more. Really, really clench them even harder, and let go. And I'm sure what you will have just found is that that tension that I just asked you to put into your feet traveled, as I asked you to do it, harder and harder, harder, all through your body. And eventually, some of you may have actually held your breath. So if we get, that's just an example, if tension is in one place, it can spread. Okay, if you've ever injured yourself and you sort of you want to protect that place. So sometimes I've hurt my neck, so I don't want to sort of turn that way. Then you sort of holding yourself in this place, and then the more tension can spread, and then you get yourself into more trouble. So we're going to start off, we're just going to bring our attention to our feet. So can you just make sure that your feet are a hand span apart, so your thumb and your finger spread wide should fit between your feet. And if you feel comfortable to, I'd ask you to close your eyes, but if you don't feel comfortable, that's absolutely fine. So I would encourage you to just notice where your weight is on your feet and just play around with it. So bring your weight to the front of your feet, onto the balls of your feet, and bring it to the back of your feet, onto your heels, and just experiment with placing it in different areas, and then just try and find that place in the middle, so the weight is evenly distributed around your feet, and the weight is going straight down through the middle of your feet. Brilliant. And I'd like you to just notice your ankles. Bring your attention to your ankles. Are you holding any tension in your ankles? What about your calves? And your knees? Make sure your knees are soft. They're not locked back into position. Just allow them to soften. And what about our hips? Are we carrying any tension in our hips? Just noticing. Not doing anything, just creating an awareness of where we might be holding tension. What about our belly, our abdomen area? Moving up to the chest, our shoulders. What about your arms? Are they hanging nice and loosely? Our neck, what about our neck? Bring your attention to your neck. And lastly, somewhere I think we often forget about, and that's our face. Just bring your attention to your face. Noticing if you're holding any tension, perhaps around your eyebrows, your forehead, your jaw. And next I'd like you to just bring your weight back. Look, noticing back down our feet, bring your weight to the front of your feet, and we're just going to bounce on the balls of our feet, imagining that we are a chocolate version of ourselves, and that chocolate version of ourselves is starting to melt, and all of that chocolate is just melting away, feeling all the weight and tension falling away down to the floor. Just focusing on our jaw, just allowing our jaw to relax, falling away, and stop. Nice. And just bring your attention, just checking in with yourself. How does that feel now? How do you feel now? Just making sure you're breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. Where is that breath now? So we're just going to take our hands wide like this, and we're just going to give ourselves a nice big hug around our shoulders like this. And we're going to allow our head to as if we're looking over a drop, and we allow our head, the weight of our head, to just take us over really nice and slowly, making sure our knees are just slightly bent. And in this position, still hugging ourselves, we're just going to breathe in through our nose, out through our mouth. And see if you can send that breath into your back. When you breathe in, see if you can expand your back, as if you're inflating your back. And see if you can send that breath all the way down your spine to your tailbone, in through your nose, out through your mouth. And coming back up, letting your arms fall back to your sides, and taking your arms wide again, giving yourself another hug, and same again, allowing yourself to just roll down using the weight of your head, softening in your knees. One more breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. And one last one, trying to get that breath all the way down to your tailbone. And now just lightly, gently let go of your arms and shake out your shoulders. Nod your head and allow your knees to soften even more, and just roll yourself back up to standing. You might feel like you need to yawn. Just have a stretch. Stretching out, stretching it and yawning at the same time. And yawning is fantastic. Yawning just opens up our throat, allowing more space for all the vibrations that are created by your vocal folds, which are meeting, and every time they meet, they create a vibration which is sent up into our mouth and all our nasal cavities. So the more we yawn, the more we can open up this area. And what I'd like you to do now is just hum. Hum onto closed lips. Mm, mm, mm. And just experiment with sending that hum all the way around so it can go up to the top of your mouth. Or maybe it's going to go back down your mouth. Just play around with that hum, sending it to different places. And now what I'd like you to do is focus that hum all the way to the front of your mouth, to your lips. And if you can send it to the front of your lips, just experiment trying to get as much of that vibration to the front of your lips. So you might feel a tingling sensation of those vibrations on the back of your lips. Have a go. Mm. And play around with pitch range and see if there is a place, if there is a certain pitch that creates the most amount of vibrations, the most tingling on your lips, and find that place and just keep it at that pitch. And what I'd like you to do is open that onto an R sound. So it'll be like this. Have a go. Nice. And one more time. Really, really nice. Let's just massage up here. There's a nice big muscle here, the temporalis muscle, which is the one that is responsible when it gets too tight for tension headaches. So just have a massage there. Really nice, just as gently or as not too hard, just as much as you is good, because it might be sort of tender for some people. Coming down to the temple. We were up here, now we're here. And then just gently stroking down your jaw. Really nice. Oh, yawning is great. Yawn as much as you like. So just close your eyes if you feel comfortable and just breathe and just notice how you feel. And just notice where your breath is now. If you were to give this feeling a word, what is that word? Cool. Now, what I want you to do is I'm going to ask you to adopt a number of different positions, okay? And when you adopt a different position, I would like you to breathe into that position. So I'd like you to find a position where you feel really strong. Find that position and breathe into that. Could be this position. It could be if you do yoga, it could be warrior 2. So a lunge, bending that knees. And see if you can just notice what that feels like now. How do you feel? What do you feel like when you look around? How does that feel? And in this position, you breathe in and then grab your text, hold your text in your hand, read a sentence of your story. So in this strong position, you breathe in and speak out onto your story. And just notice how that changes your voice. Cool. Have a go. So the next exercise that we're going to do is one that will help us increase the amount of range we have in a voice. Now, range, normally when you think about voice, is all to do with singing, but I don't mean that in this instance. What I mean is range in the sense that I have the ability to talk in such a way that I can actually emphasize certain things by picking out different words. So it's to do with pitch range, it's to do with vocal intensity, if I want to use that to make my point, volume, and just being and feeling free to be able to do those things. So using your story of your voice, what I'd like you to do is I would like you to just forget about everyone else in the room, because everyone's going to be doing the same thing. I'd like you to move around the space, and I would like you to read from your piece of paper. I'd like you to read your story aloud, but I would like you to overdo it, over the top, please. So, this is my voice and I am speaking like this. Really play with it. Have fun. You're meant to look silly, so do. Everyone is doing this. It'll make you laugh. Doesn't matter. Enjoy it. You could even take it into a bit of opera if you fancied it. I am singing my voice. Have a play. But yeah, let's get that let's extend that range. Okay, so have a go, and then afterwards, just to yourself, speak your piece again, and just see if you notice any difference in the way that you're actually saying it to yourself. Have fun. So we've already done a bit of work on breath, but I wanted to just talk a little bit more about it, because we worked on it in our warm-up. We encouraged our breath to sort of move further down into our bellies, and that kind of that gives us more room for our lungs to expand, and therefore we have more air to move over our vocal folds and give us more power and more, so that's more volume. But the other great thing about breath is we can influence our nervous system. There are only a few ways, and breath seems to me the most accessible one. And our nervous system, when I was talking very early on about safety and danger, if we feel safe, our breath is quite relaxed. But if we get into a state where we are sort of activated by, whatever danger is in our world these days, whether it's I'm late, I'm worried, they haven't texted back yet, I haven't sent that email. All those little tiny moments that move us out of safety can have an impact on us, and we can feel tense. So I wanted to teach you this breathing technique, which is one that I learned about, and it's used by American Special Armed Forces and their Secret Service. And those are obviously jobs where you will be in the face of danger. So you need to keep yourself calm. But we can use this at any time that we find ourselves in our own relative sense of danger. So it goes like this. The pattern is 5, 5, 5, 2. In for 5, hold your breath for 5, and out for 5, and then you wait for 2, and then you start again. So we'll all do it together. So breathing in for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Holding breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing out for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait for 2. 1, 2. And then again. In for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5. So, how does that feel? Just noticing how you're feeling. So that can be used, you can use that at any time to just get you in a calmer place, so you're ready to do what you've got to do. So we've come to the end of the session. Now, there's been all sorts of things that we've worked through. There have been some activities that you may have found a bit hard. It's not easy standing up in front of people and speaking, just simply speaking, because to speak in front of people is to reveal who you are, because your voice comes from inside and tells the people on the outside what's going on. It's quite revealing. But I hope some of these exercises will have given you some confidence to be able to be okay with hearing your voice. And when there are those moments, when there are those moments that you are at the mercy of your inner critic who is talking to you and pushing you into a state of, well, not safety, whether that's worry or anxiety. Hopefully, some of these exercises will be helpful to you to kind of just bring yourself back to a place where you are safe and you feel like, yeah, I can do this. Whether that is a job interview or any kind of interview, university, college, any time you have to speak. It might just be with friends. Sometimes we don't feel comfortable to speak within a group. This stuff can be used at any time, and share it around if you feel that it could be useful to someone else. And remember, you do have things that are good to say. Don't listen to that inner critic. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye.